Are you a Tableau developer or aspiring data analyst? Ever found yourself in an interview facing unexpected questions that have nothing to do with your project? Stay tuned because in this tutorial we are going to reveal the secrets to tackle those curveball questions like pro. We will be discussing the steps of migration and benefits of Snowflake over SQL. But that's not all I have for you. If you are on a journey to become a data analyst, we have got something special for you. We offer a 3 months online course that is tailored for bachelor degree holders. Whether you come from a technical or a non-technical background, whether you have done your BCom or you have done your engineering, it's your gateway to mastering the world of data analysis and Tableau expertise. Don't miss this opportunity to boost your interview skills and expand your data analysis capabilities. If you're watching this video on Saturdays or on Sundays, you can directly join my demo classes free of cost. Link is in the description, which will be active between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can book your seat and join the demo classes. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Okay, let's come back to the topic which we are going to discuss. So the first topic which we are going to discuss is explain the steps involved in migration. Okay, what are the steps involved into the migration? So whenever a project is happen, or whenever there are two types of projects into the Tableau industry or into the BI industry, that is the development project and the migration project. So here we are going to see the steps involved in a migration project, which I have already explained into my previous video. Okay, so here are the steps. So the first step which we will be mentioning, that download reports from SharePoints in TWBX format. Okay, we will be downloading it into the TWBX format. Then we double click on the report, which will automatically open into Tableau desktop. Once you double click on that particular downloaded TWBX format file, it will going to open it into the Tableau desktop automatically. Then the third step is we go to the data source pane and double click on it. Okay, then once it is opened, we go to the data source pane, we double click on it, and then we check for the names of the tables and stored procedures and other relation by going into the physical layers. We know we have already discussed about logical layer, physical layer, data modeling into the Tableau. So that parts comes over here. If the interviewer asks you, you will be able to explain that part very well. We have created a video on that. So here in the step, what we will do, we'll click on data source pane, we will go to the stored procedures tables, we check the names, we will find the table in the SQL server first. Okay, we'll go to the SQL server and we'll find those names of the tables into the SQL server by filter setting options. Okay, filter setting option we go and we will check the names. Then we will refer the reference sheet. Okay, we have been also provided by the database team the reference sheet, where we are going to check what are the names placed inside the project. So we'll check that names and we will use those names and stored procedures, and we will validate those names, we will take those names, and then we'll go for the Snowflake. Okay, now in the next step, we find the same tables and stored procedure in the Snowflake server to connect. Okay, we'll go again back, we'll check those names, and there might be a prefix or a postfix might be applied, which will be SNF, which is Snowflake underscore, and then the name of the table. That is the nomenclature they have generally followed. Okay, so we'll be going to use that. Then once that tables or that those views are found, because because Snowflake does not support stored procedures, so we will be using the views and tables names. Okay, then the eighth step comes, where once the tables are found, we'll right click on the select top 1000 rows options. we'll select that and then validate the number of columns. Now here, once we found the table, now we start the validation process. Okay, we will be validating the number of columns, number of records, the data type of the columns. Generally these are the basic, very basic checks which we are going to do. And once that is done, we verify that everything is up to the mark, and we change the connection. Now to going to do that, add the Snowflake data source to change the connection. Now we are going to connect Snowflake as a secondary data source to the existing dashboard or a report which we have opened into the TWBX format. Once that is done, the secondary data source as Snowflake is added, we will remove the primary data source which was SQL, right? So we will remove that. Once that is removed, there will be a red exclamation. Okay, so in the step 10, add Snowflake data source, secondary data source, and then remove the SQL. Okay, 11th step, then remove the SQL from the data source pane and remove the SQL data source. Okay, then on the 12th step, what we will do, we will there, once as we remove the primary data source, there will be dimension and measures will have some red exclamation. Okay, so how we will remove or resolve that? We have an option. So in step 13, what we will do, then we resolve the issues related to data source change using replace reference, which is available into the Tableau option. Okay, this replace reference option is available. So once you click on replace reference, it will give you the list of the items through which you need to or you want to replace it. So you will be selecting the new names, because the old column names which has been used has also been changed into the migration project for the Snowflake data source. So you will use those names and you will connect it, and once that is done, all the sheet will be in a correct format and it will show the data accordingly. Then dashboards and sheets, then the 14th, if required. Now in this position, once we have replaced the connection from SQL to Snowflake, now if there is a change request that earlier we were showing only few details, but now we want to show all the details of a customer or patient into our healthcare domain project. So at that time we will do the change request, we will add those things. If we want to add parameters, if we want to add filters, we can do that. If we want to remove something, we can do that. At that point of time, we will be doing all the development task or all the CRUD operations over here, that is create, alter, delete, whatever we want to do, we can do that. And then the 15th step will be, once everything is working fine, that is the last step. Once we validate that okay, everything is working fine, everything, no filters and all the parameters and all the functions are working correctly up to the mark, all the records are valid, in that situation we will mark that story as done and we will assign it to the QAs, to the testing department. That is how the migration process you will be explaining when the interviewer asks you to explain the steps. Okay, now moving on to the next topic for today, that is the 14th question. What are the benefits of Snowflake over SQL data source? Okay, so what are the benefits of it? So here are a few benefits which are available. So scalability is the first important benefit. That is, Snowflake is designed for cloud-based automatic scalability. Okay, now we are going to check which is best, Snowflake or SQL, because in our migration project we are discussing about that we are changing from SQL to Snowflake. So obviously there might be some advantages or good things about Snowflake. That is why we are transitioning from SQL to Snowflake. So what are the important factors? The scalability, it is scalable. Snowflake is scalable, but your SQL require manual efforts for scaling. It is dynamic in nature. Snowflake is dynamic in nature, it can adjust according to the size. Then zero maintenance. Snowflake manages an administrative task automatically, okay, reducing the needs of manual maintenance. whereas in SQL database often requires more hands-on maintenance. It requires manual intervention, human intervention. Okay, pay as you go pricing model. Okay, so whenever Snowflake offers you pay as you go pricing model, uh, where you only pay for the storage or computing resources you use. So if you are using a huge data set, you will be paying accordingly. If you are using not the huge data, you are using a small space of it, you will be paying very less. Whereas the for SQL, the data source may have fixed licensing cost. It is fixed whether you use it small or a larger scale. The licensing cost will be fixed. Then data sharing, this is again very important part. Snowflake has built-in data sharing capability. Okay, you can share data over the cloud with Snowflake, but SQL data source may require complex data export and import processing of your sharing. Okay, then there are few more points which we can discuss. The first one is again for the same question, that is global availability. Okay, Snowflake is available on major cloud platforms, providing global availability and disaster recovery. Now this is again very important point. This is disaster recovery. Disaster recovery option is available in Snowflake, which is not available in SQL. Okay, SQL database may requires more complex and configuration for global access. Okay, then zero copy cloning. Okay, you don't need to have a copy. You can generally share the data, as we have seen in previous example, where we can generally share the data with anybody with a great security, and it is not like the data is not secured over the cloud. But in Snowflake we have zero cloning. Okay, Snowflake allows for instant and space efficient cloning. So if you are not cloning it, you are definitely using the same space everywhere. And if you are cloning it, that means you are creating a duplicate records. And let's suppose if you have a data of 1 GB and you are cloning it, so 1 GB data cloned into 1 GB, so it will be now taking 2 GB of space. Whereas if you are sharing the same data across the globe, you save on the cost of cloning. So that is the benefit of Snowflake. Now data variety, how what type of data, or how many types of data Snowflake can handle. It can handle all the three types of data: structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Whereas in SQL it can handle only structured data. That is again a plus point for Snowflake. Then elasticity. Okay, Snowflake can be easily integrated with various data integration. You can integrate Snowflake with any data, integrated with various data integration and transformation tools to get the analysis. Okay, to create the analysis or to have the business analysis. But SQL data source may have more limited integration options. Okay, these are, I believe, these are four and these are four. So 8 options are very important when you are going to explain the importance of Snowflake over SQL. That's all for today, guys. If you really like the video, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell icon. Okay, that's all for today. If you have any questions, any queries, or any doubts regarding the topic which I have covered, you can write me a comment, or else we can discuss it into our live classes, which is on Saturdays and Sundays. That's all. Thank you.